Today we're looking at the labor movement of the Progressive Era. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. The Progressive Era, spanning roughly from the late 1800s through the early 1900s, was a time period of significant social and political reform in the United States. One crucial aspect of this era was the emergence and growth of the labor movement, a collective effort by workers to address the harsh working conditions, long hours, and lack of basic rights they faced. The late 19th century witnessed the rapid industrialization of the United States, leading to growth of large factories and corporations. While this industrial growth brought economic prosperity, it also resulted in exploitive labor practices, as workers faced low wages, unsafe working conditions, and minimal job security. The social and economic disparities between the wealthy elite and the working class became increasingly evident, setting the stage for the labor movement of the Progressive Era. Industrial workplaces in America were among the most dangerous in the world, with little to no safety regulations in place. Accidents and injuries were common. In the early 1900s, it's estimated that close to 30,000 workers a year were killed in accidents, while another 500,000 were injured. Workers faced life-threatening conditions without proper safeguards. The railroads became notorious for being dangerous, as it is estimated in a 6-year span between 1902 and 1908, close to 15,000 railroad workers were killed in accidents. Miners had one of the most deadly professions, with explosions, fires, and mine collapses being common. On March 25, 1911, a fire broke out at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in New York City. Due to most of the doors and exits being locked to prevent workers from taking breaks, 146 people died in the fire from smoke inhalation or by leaping from the building. 123 of those killed were women, most of them between the ages of 15 and 25. The nation was appalled, and demands for change began to grow. Many workers endured excessively long workdays, often exceeding 12 hours, with little to no overtime pay. On average, American workers were working 54 to 60 hours per week. Long hours with low pay took a toll on the physical and mental well-being of the workforce, prompting them to demand shorter workdays and fair compensation for the hours they worked. During this era, employees had minimal legal protection, and the right to organize or bargain collectively was virtually non-existent. If workers did begin to organize together to fight for better pay and working conditions, their unions were usually broken up by the employer. Workers' attempts to go on strike or refusing to work until their demands were met were many times met with violence, as in the Homestead Steel Strike of 1892 and the Pullman Strike in 1894. Employers used strikebreakers, police, or federal troops to force the employees back to work. The labor movement recognized these issues and sought to establish basic rights for workers, including the right to form unions and negotiate for improved conditions. Different organizations began to come into being to take action on behalf of workers. The Knights of Labor, founded in 1869, aimed to unite all workers regardless of skill level or trade. Their advocacy for an 8-hour workday, improved safety measures, and the abolition of child labor contributed to a broader labor movement goal. The American Federation of Labor, or AFL, was founded in 1886 and played a pivotal role in organizing skilled workers from various trades. Led by Samuel Gompers, the AFL focused on securing better wages, working hours, and conditions through collective bargaining, setting an influential precedent for labor activism. The growing calls for change began to reach those in power in the government, both at the state and federal level. In 1913, the United States Department of Labor was established with the goal of protecting workers' rights and ensuring safer working conditions. The labor movement's efforts during the Progressive Era paved the way for significant legislative reforms in the years to come. In 1935, Congress passed the National Labor Relations Act, which gave workers the right to unionize and collectively bargain for better wages and conditions. Then, a few years later, the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938 was passed, which established minimum wage, overtime pay eligibility, and child labor standards. The labor movement of the Progressive Era emerged as a powerful force advocating for the rights and well being of American workers. Despite facing numerous challenges, the movement succeeded in laying the groundwork for significant change. So, with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.